Now it's my pleasure to recognize the gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Steil, who serves as the chairman of the Digital Assets, Financial Technology, and Artificial Intelligence Subcommittee for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and for holding today's very important oversight hearing. I want to start with you, if I can, Ms. Bowman. You were asked by my colleague from New York about your supervisory reform plans. You ran out of time to be able to comment on that. Could you just briefly provide a little insight as to what your reform plans are?
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity to clarify that. So at the time of the financial crisis, we had around 200-ish employees at the board. That grew by 76% up until the current state today, where we had 500 authorized positions. Our work to, obviously, the addition of all of those supervisors didn't help us with our focus on ensuring that banks' safety and soundness has been secured, as we saw by the failure of Silicon Valley Bank and some of the other banks that failed around that time. The way that we ensure that we're providing safety and soundness is to focus on financial risks. So the work that we're doing now to reorganize our division will allow us to better align our work with those risks that lead to banks' failures.
Appreciate this. So it's better alignment in resourcing people onto the risks that we face. Let me shift gears completely, but stay with you if I can, Ms. Bowman. As you likely know, the Basel Committee applies a punitively high-risk weight for digital assets. Out of this committee, we passed the Genius Act, passing into law. I want to come over to how we're doing on the regulatory side in a minute. But the chair of the Basel Committee recently said that a, quote, different approach would be needed to address the mismatch between current Basel capital treatment and the reality we see in the crypto industry. Bank of England declined to use this. Can you comment with how you're going to work within this Basel framework, or whether or not you view it as unnecessarily punitive as well?
Well, I can confirm that I believe that the risk weights that were initially assigned prior to my joining the Basel Committee and the GHOS role is that was an over-calibration of the risk. So my hope is that there will be a recalibration of it at some point, or we won't join in adopting that framework.
Appreciate your comments. I'm going to come to you, if I can, Mr. Hopman. We passed the Genius Act, first regulatory bill of substance in the crypto space. We got a huge opportunity with clarity in front of us. You have a big role on the regulatory side. Can you give us an update as to where we're at on the regulations moving forward in the Genius Act briefly?
Yeah, I think stablecoins are an absolute game changer. This country, as advanced as we are with the biggest internet companies in the world, our payment system is very creaky. There are countries we give foreign aid to that you can settle 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So the faster we get this done, the better we're going to be. Where are we at on the regulatory
you gave
side?
us a deadline of July 18. I believe I and my fellow regulators are committed to doing that. My guess is the first rulemaking you'll see will be the one on how to apply to be an issuer, but your constituents should benefit by having 7-day-a-week payment, which, as you know, is difficult in this country.
Are you committed?
Yes.
I'm just coming to the time.
Yeah.
I'm fully with you on Genius.
Yeah.
Is why we did it here. I just want to make sure that we get these
Fully
regs
committed, yes.
done on time. You're fully committed, and you believe you are in position to deliver on that commitment.
Yes, I think myself and fellow regulators, and I want to give credit to the Secretary Bessent for making sure that Treasury is helping to convene that. I think we're on track.
Thank you. I think that's just really important. We've seen instances across years in this committee where sometimes bills are passed. We don't see the regulations come out on time. I appreciate your commitment to delivering on that. I want to stay with you for a second. And we've done a lot of work here looking back at Choke Point 2.0. And in particular, how the broader crypto and digital asset space was being governed by enforcement actions, incredibly unproductive mechanism to do that. I think we have a huge opportunity here to move forward clarity to prevent the type of abuse we saw with Chairman Gensler and with other regulators in the broader Biden administration. How important is clarity being done to help guide you and those on your staff to be able to follow congressional intent rather than engage in enforcement actions to drive forward policy?
Well, regulation by enforcement, in my opinion, is unethical. There's not one person in this room that would tolerate it in any other part of our life. There has to be a speed limit first and then a speeding ticket after that. I'm proud that we now have its actual NCUA policy. A future board can change it if they want to, but they'd have to explain why they pulled down our regulation by enforcement policy, simply defined as no enforcement ever sets policy. And the same protections
Will the Clarity Act help you? on that?
I don't want to comment on a certain but you shouldn't have any enforcement that ever sets policy.
Very good. Appreciate all of you being here, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.